Morning. Today is Saturday. It's August the 2nd. And we are in a stretch of the Vermont wilderness where we are heading to an area, aka the Thinking Place. And so far I had to remind myself that first leg of the journey is kind of a suck fest. You got to go through some relatively decent, going through shit like that, thick underbrush, to get back into things like that. We're heading up this way. We're going to be going to the right and upwards into the Thinking Place through a bunch of conjoined little mountain meadows like this, which are all pretty nice areas for grouse hunting too, if I get to that this year. And the reason I say that, last year there were some flooding issues that had caused nesting sites to fare less than favorably. So that's the plan for today. We're always on the lookout for activity. We're on the very southern tier of number 3's stomping grounds, I believe. As for getting lost, there's a road that way and a very muddy, shitty path that way. And the reservoir ultimately would be going that way. So we're kind of in a weird little pocket that we'd probably have to bumblefuck through to get back, but it's doable. So let's hit it, see what we find, and we'll go from there. Thanks. Okay, we're back. We're beginning our leg of, I think this is technically the second meadow proper, mainly because the first one is very small and you have to navigate through a stream. The second one apparently is waterlogged. And I almost lost my boot to sinky mud, as I call it. And it's a spot where you go over the beaver dam. If I remember right, Thinking Place is up yonder. Get out of my way. A lot of what's critical in going through shit like this is stepping very tentatively. Don't go charging through. A very good way to roll an ankle, hyperextend a knee, and given the uneven nature of terrain in here, that it may not kill you, but it certainly ain't gonna make your way back out that pleasant. Not that it is anyway, but kind of weird, because we're kind of here earlier. We had a kind of an odd set of circumstances yesterday. My better half had a surgical thing and had to have somebody watching them post anesthesia until they sobered up, which was this morning. So they spent the night and slept off the after effects of that. And as a result, somehow I ended up leaving earlier than I normally would. Beat the DOT opportunistic window of pulling up cones and road work and delaying my arrival by half an hour or so. And that's kind of the bane of the early departure, is the moose bedding of something. Because for context, you're not really in the middle of everything, but I guess my question is, when we get up here, is this where the forest is, or we got one more to go? Because deep as H. Christ. No, I think we're on track. Or not. No, we're not. I got another one to go yet. My poor left foot has gone deep into the mud twice now. And is paying for it. Yeah, you got to go through this shit first. All of which is nice and waterlogged. Okay. And that, boys and girls, would be... Well, it seemed like I was making time a little faster than I thought I was. Because we're not quite all the way there yet. We gotta go through this. Because normally I would think it's over there, but we're not there yet. My foot is so soaked right now. Anyway, petty whining aside. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Moose track. Way down to the bottom of this thing, there's a couple camping with two annoying little flea bags that won't shut the fuck up. It's annoying that I can still hear them. It's not that I hate dogs, but when you're trying to be less than obvious sneaking by somewhere, and you have campers that just don't get woods etiquette, I don't know. It's annoying. This is the fucking meadow I was thinking of. Yeah. There we are. Let's do the Bullwinkle. You can kind of see where they've made their way through already. This is the one I was thinking of. You gotta remember your advice. Stay to the right. Don't step in the moose shit. And then that is the thinking place up there. And it levels out a little bit. Ooh, okay. Once more before, this is more familiar, is the way in. Once more before I run out of summer, I need to camp in a place like this and get up into this shit. Because it's worth getting to, but it's also a bitch to get to. So it's a matter of if you're up for it, I guess. I say that not to toot my own horn, but kind of have to stealth bitch by way of saying more than one person has asked to hit the field with me saying they're up for anything until they see what they're up for. And then you'll see them bail, which is always annoying because don't sell yourself as having abilities you don't. If you're going to puss in the 11th hour and the 59th minute and you're actually like at the verge of an awesome location, I'm like, if you actually dare to get your feet a little wet and get up into the area you're trying to get up into, it's probably worth it. Case in point. Because then you get up into this and the conditions aren't that bad. Whew. If only a bit of a workout. But anyway, see how it kind of evens out in here. And then it's weird, a lot of Manitou is like this too. You'll have, the approach is some very, very, very thick undergrowth shit. But when you come out into it, provided you don't step out into a stealth pond and wade in up to your waist, if not your nipples, which has happened, you have whole areas that are open like this. Kind of pull up and hang out for the night if you wanted to. Let me just look back. So the way back, down, and back to the left. And I just definitely went across orb weaver webs because they're thicker. Their webs are thicker. But okay. So the thinking place kind of has two sections. You kind of have the stick field to your left. You'll see what I mean momentarily. Let's actually walk into the open a little more. And then you have the toothpick pond, more or less. All these dead trees. Not so dead a frog. He's going into the water. In the meadow, that's all this stuff. And then follow that long enough, it'll eventually take you to the reservoir. But this is reminiscent of Splashtown. This kind of an environment. This one's a little soggier though. Anyway, I am going to take a segment break and kind of take in the area, look for signs of activity, eDNA and that kind of thing, before planning phase 2 of my operation today. Beaver Pond out there. Yeah, it's an old one though, because I was there yesteryear. I'm going to cut out for a second. We'll be back in a bit. So we're kind of moving on to another area now. So for the reference, we're not going there today just because it's too easy to get turned around in here. Through there, if you can see it, hold on, let me get a better angle. There's another meadow, kind of like a big open area, but I have other things I'd like to do today. I'm going to kind of poke the bear of the Squatch Detective, because his latest podcast, he points out the grifting of certain Mr. Polites, and I don't really know if it's a slow news week or something, but it's like no offense, Steve, but no shit. You know. I've pointed that out for a while now. I don't know if it's like a forgivable level or if it's all that much more insidious that he does it with a fair level of excuse me, subtle nuance, I guess is the word. Because what he's doing is taking a an existing missing persons case from out in the middle of nowhere. And then he quietly, kind of, with an element of subtlety, will try to graft on suggestion. He doesn't push you into that direction. He kind of nudges you there, oh so subtly. Excuse me, into the Bigfoot and paranormal angle. I've pointed out before, there's one that is native to Vermont from the later 40s. A college student that went missing. I forget her name, but she likely either died of exposure due to just lack of preparation for a hike she underestimated, or she ended up, I go over that way. She ended up getting murdered by a truck driver, I guess, who had a row with his woman, and therefore had took it out on her, I guess. But he presents it, she was heard screaming from a swamp, and there was some other noise or some shit, and it's like, just oh so subtle, the Bigfoot got her suggestion, like, prove it. Alright, so all these guys are out there now. I don't have them. Grasshoppers. We're going to angle down through this into our next meadow, making our way slowly back towards the two shitty barking dogs. And we're going to find another area to hit too, since it's reasonably early in the morning. Again, we got out of bed a little early today, so a little ahead of the game. So we're going to do a segment break, navigate this, cover some ground, and we'll be back in a bit. Back. We're in a different site. It's a quiet day. It's also a wee bit more populated than I would like. So we're going to call this one here. We got an early start. We did make it to the thinking place. We did go in there, spend some time there with our thoughts, so to speak. And resultingly, mission accomplished there. We're doing a little bit of a run through the 5 bogs here. And that's about where we're gonna end this one. If it's quiet, it's quiet, is what it is. So on that note, until next time, this is us out in the field sharing our thoughts, going to places and looking to see what's going on there, and see if there's any activity about. And until next time, YouTube stuff,